Welcome to lesson 27, inputs and outputs. In this lesson, we're actually going to substitute for x in our functions and use our order of operations to simplify. And we're going to do that to see whether or not the x value is a solution for the function. So in our second criteria for success, if we're given the ordered pair, we're asked to see, is it a solution? So if we put those numbers in, would I get the actual output for the number I'm putting in? Which ordered pair below is not a solution for the function f of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 4. So the first thing I'm going to do, since I have ordered pairs, I have an x and y value, I'm just going to rewrite this as a regular equation. And now all I'm going to do is substitute my x and y into that equation. So I'm going to write this down, because I'm going to do 4 substitutions. And we're going to sub in all our points. So let's start with A. So my answer, my solution should be 4 with 0 squared minus 3 times 0 plus 4. So is this a true equation? All right, so now I just simplify. 0 squared is 0, minus 0 plus 4. This simplifies to 4 is equal to 4. Yes, it's true. So that's the solution. And do the same thing with the second one for B. So 1.75 is equal to 1.5 squared minus 3 times 1.5 plus 4. Okay. So 1.5 squared, if you do that on your calculator, you're going to get 2.25. Minus 3 times 1.5 is 4.5 plus 4. Okay. I'm going to open up my calculator here on the side because I don't want to make calculation errors where I don't need to. So 2.25 minus 4.5 is equal to negative 2.25 plus 4. And I'm just going to add that in, and I get 1.75. So this is correct. 1.75 is equal to 1.75. I move on to the next one. My solution should be 14, and I have 5 squared minus 3 times 5 plus 4. And this is all you're doing, Math Marbles. You're just substituting and solving. So this one is also a solution. So gut's going to tell us D is going to be the one that is not a solution. Let's see. Negative 1 squared minus 3 times negative 1 plus 4. All right, so negative times a negative is a positive. So 1 plus 3 plus 4. All right, 1 plus 3 plus 4 is 8. This is not true, so that means D would not be a solution. And that's it, Math Marbles. That's all you would have to do. I just rewrite it as a y equals equation and substitute the values for x and y. Clearly, I'm using my calculator to ensure I'm not making small calculation errors, but making sure that all the evidence from my calculator, from my tool, is still on the page. Hit pause and jot this down into your notes. Okay, let's look at our next practice, and I'm using my criteria for success. Again, remember, if we're given an input, we're going to substitute for the x and use our order of operations, and that's what we have here. They've given us the input f of 8, meaning every place I see an x, I'm going to put an 8. So let's rewrite that in. F of 8 is equal to 1/2 times 8 squared minus parentheses 1/4 times 8 plus 3. All right. This is not the second one. The second one is if you had an ordered pair, and that was like the other example we had. So we're only using the first part of the criteria for success. So now let's use our order of operations to simplify. I'm going to start with my parentheses, and I'm going to do our multiplication first before adding. All right, notice I'm just changing 8 to a fraction so that I'm getting 8 over 4 plus 3. And that's the same thing as 2 plus 3, or 5. Right, now I can just rewrite the rest. And I'm going to just carry it all the way down. And 8 squared is 64. Okay, so now I just have to do 1/2 of 64 minus 5. For space, I'm just going to use a little arrow that shows I'm continuing my work on the other end. So 1/2 times 64 here we go, is 32. And now I'm just going to do 32 minus 5, and I get 27. So f of 8 is equal to 27, and my answer is C. Now, a few quick things I want to note in the work that I made a conscious decision of. Notice I decided to just write this arrow going down because I started with my parentheses and there was a lot of simplifying as I was going. And I didn't want to have to keep on rewriting this part 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I just carried it down once I simplified this section. Now, to be fair, depending on who your teacher is, you may have a teacher that wants you to rewrite it each time. I understand it is tedious. I understand, but if that's the work that they want to see demonstrated on the page to show what is being simplified, then I would carry with the convention. But what I just did here is I just put an arrow coming down so you can see this is my work. What I don't want to see, if I'm a teacher, is I don't want to see different parts of the equation being done on different parts of the page. And that's sometimes what happens when I see kids working. Like I'll see a kid working on this part first separately, and then they'll do this part over here and this part, and it's really hard to follow along. So just make sure your work is very easy so we can see it sequentially going down and we can follow which step you're doing. The other thing I do very much so is if I run out of space on the page, I carry over to the next part. So being precise and being organized in our work is going to be really important. All right, so that's it for today's lesson. You're doing really well on inputs, outputs. So you're either going to get a pair of coordinates, and if you do, just rewrite it as a y equals equation and substitute for x and y. Or you're going to get just an input value where it will say f of some number, and just input whatever that number is, f of whatever number. Every time you see an x, put that in, and then just use your order of operations to simplify out. That's it for today's lesson. I'll see you in the next one. Be well, Math Marbles.